Hello everyone, my name is Barbara and I'm a Polish girl who lives in Ireland and likes to knit, and today I'm going to show you a finished object and also I give you a review of these socks. Wolf and the Gang, kinda magic socks. Okay, let's start. First things first, I had to put the yarn into a bag, and the one I picked is this one side pin bag, sewn by me. I use needles included in the kit, and we have over here 3 sets of DPNs, which means double pointed needles, and what we have over here is US size 1 2.25 millimeters, US size 1.5 2.5 millimeters, and US size 2 2.75 millimeters. I kept them in my Knitting I Love pouch for DPNs, Silent Forest, Cafe Chocolate. Here how they look like. I did not have a problem with those needles at all. I started with US size 1.5, which is 2.5 millimeters, and I went to US size 1, which is 2.25 millimeters. If you've ever knitted with this yarn, what size of needles did you use? What else we have in this kit, because it is a kit, you have needles, yarn. We have a label, which I don't think I'm going to use for these socks because it's too big. Tapestry needle, and it is for like a bulky yarn. So I'm going to use it, but for my hats. Definitely not for socks. I use a thinner one. I use a smaller one. I hope you can see it. It's quite big. I love the packaging. And I got a card with some discount and also some stickers. I haven't used these because I wanted to show you. Still in a full glory. And here are my leftovers. I'm going to weight them and show you over here how heavy they are, so you will know how much yarn I used. And I'll tell you in a sec in regards to the pattern. When you receive this box, well, bag, I'm telling you, be excited about it, especially when you make a purchase and something like this arrives. And if you want to see my expression while I was opening this box, check it out. I'll leave a link down below. Or what I can tell you now is there are more colors. Overall, they have 5. And I don't want to butcher how to say it, especially that some writing, it's not my spelling errors, it's actually the names of them. So the one that I'm holding now, so this one is called, on the screen over here. However, we have also Candy Claus, I think that's how you say it, Perfect, Purple, Cool Cat, Cooper, and Pink Paws. Yeah, so we have 5 colors. And probably asking straight away yourself a question, how much do you need to pay for the kit? If you go on the website, you can see there is 3 options how you can purchase. You can purchase them as a kit with 1 ball, with 3 balls, or with 5 balls. The more you get, cheaper it gets. Do you see it? And as I'm aware, the shipping is for free. Buying in 1 ball, I would say it's quite an expense, especially if you already have tools. This pattern is for advanced knitter. So I would presume advanced knitter would have needles. I have not such amazing double pointed needles, so I was quite happy with the needles there are in the kit. I was slightly afraid that they may break or something, but they didn't. And I thought, you know what, if it happens, happens. I move it on my magic loop. I was working the way I would normally work. And especially because the pattern tells you to work with a specific tension. And you may know that I'm a loose knitter, so I try to go as tight as I can. And when you go tight, some tools may break. But they didn't. So I'm happy about that. And I have those needles still with me. One thing good about those sets, when you buy 3 or 5 balls in your kit, you can actually pick your colors individually. Would I buy this kit for advanced knitter who has never knitted socks? I don't think so. It was quite a challenge for me too, in a good way. So it could be directed to knitters that have knitted socks, but they would like to spice up the thing, try a new yarn, or try yourself with your own skills like I did. So let's talk about tension. In this little small booklet that you receive with a kit, you have instructions. Well, I can't share you with it because it actually says it's a copyright thing, so I can't. But what I can tell you about, they tell you to play with the needles. So I thought at the beginning, okay, I'm a loose knitter, but they give me also US size 2. so maybe I'll go in the middle, and I started with 2.5. What I can say in regards description, how to knit these socks, it was quite simple. Only one point was challenging for me. Then I worked on 2.5 millimeters, and I had to remember that because I was knitting one sock at a time, which I'm not a fan of it. Let's say it out loud. And especially with something like this is very challenging to reproduce the same pattern in the next sock, especially as you work with attention. However, you have few stripes that you try to find what needles you want to use, especially if you're like 3-4 stitches off certain spot. And with the first sock, I was quite on it. I was just maybe 2 off, and I could play. I went to 2.25 millimeters, which was US size 1, and I could do it. Can I tell you which one was it? I think, yes, this is my first sock. I'll tell you why now. While you're knitting it, there is information that if the design leans towards the left, you're knitting too tight. Lean to the right, you're knitting too loose. While I was knitting it, I was really shocked that I do not have ladders, and that was my issue with my last socks on my needles when I was using DPNs. And that was the thing that, because look at this, this is actually the beginning round, and it's hard to say what it is comparing to the ones that I showed you before. So it kind of fixed my tension in regards to working on DPNs, but I'm hoping it did. And eventually I Forgot Yourself was so nice that I went over to a section with the heel, and I had a few stripes of this lovely navy, and then I realized that I meant to stop, so I had to frog it and go back because I wanted to do the heel the way it is written in the pattern, not the way I normally do and I like. So what we did over here with the heel, the yarn that was yellow one from the ball, we kind of cut it off and we placed it temporary where the heel meant to be. So it's kind of like afterthought heel, although we didn't have to cut the yarn, we just had to unravel the whole section of yarn, yellow yarn. Probably I could cut it the same way I would do afterthought heel. It would be way quicker. With this one I had to play for a bit. And then we went to the toes. The instructions were clear. They tell you to knit more with that navy color if your foot is larger, and it tells you approximately in regards to the size you want to knit to. So I'm size European 39 size, and they tell you over here what to do. I think I knew that, you know, with socks I would want to have them tighter, and I went with a size 38. I haven't worn them, or I haven't even fitted them on my foot. I just use my sock lockers as you have seen, and they're loose on them, so I presume, but as I said, maybe I'm a loose knitter and still the gauge wasn't the way it should be. Let's leave it that way. And then I went to do with heel, and here I had a bit of a problem. Once I gathered stitches, as you normally do, there is an information what you need to do between at the corners of the heel. And you can notice, I'll fix it, but I left it especially to show you. I didn't do a great job. Do you see it? There is a hole and I can put a finger through it. So it wasn't well explained for me to understand. Here I played the way I wanted to do it, and look, it worked. But on my second sock I thought, no, I'll continue the way it says, or at least I understand. So I have holes. You know, I like afterthought heel, and if you know how to knit afterthought heel, you know that you leave 2 stitches kind of, or 1 stitch. I normally leave 1 on the sides to close that gap. Yeah, this was my second sock, and you can see around the foot the pattern goes a little bit horizontal. So I was losing tension, I think, and I was going to my probably old habit. But at that point I was like, oh, I can't do it tighter. And I didn't have smaller needles than 2.25 millimeters. So I kept it and I did the same thing. So the pattern is quite clear. I would only say to explain more how to grab that extra stitch over here, because I didn't get it. As I said, as I say to you all the time, English is not my first language. So maybe I just don't understand it. And it's just my fault. I would love this kit to be designed for 2 at a time socks, because that's the way I like to knit, and tension is also your emotional situation, I think, and anything could have happened while I was knitting one and the second sock. What do you think? I had a fear that they will not look the same, especially that you work with a pattern sock. I love the way they ended up. I will wear them if they fit me. They're not too big, but there is a chance they may not look the same. And if you have OCD, just be aware of that. Mine do not look the same. I was knitting the calf section until I reached a navy color. So this was the max I could do with the calf. This is the longest calf you can get using this kit. I'll measure it for you what I got, because with different tension you may get something else, which I think it's okay, but just to let you know. Other thing that I was thinking of, I like to knit toes up, and I couldn't do it with this ball. You have to go from cuffs down, and that's it actually. And I have a mixed feelings. I really love to knit it for like try it and do it yourself. Check yourself, check your tension, check how good you are and how it should looks like and how aware your knitting is. Although sometimes we do not want to judge ourselves or put ourselves into like, I'm not so great as I thought maybe situation, or like, damn it, I've knitted so many socks and I can't finish this one. Yeah, but if you're a person that does not mind to have not identical socks, because I don't think I got that, then they're fine for you. You could even get those 3 balls, right, or 5 balls in the kit, do it your socks, send the kit to your friend, and once that friend kind of gets the kit, knits the pair, she can send it to a third person, and you can do like a knitting chain idea over here, which I think was quite fun. So will I knit with this kit again? I could. I have the skills and I have the patience to do that. But the question is what kind of knitter you are too. I like to knit socks as a project there is the least demanding. Maybe it's a repetition of 2 or 3, but that's it. I don't have to follow it. I would be very interested to knit this pattern again, but try to divide balls and try to knit 2 at a time. Maybe that would be a completely different experience, especially as you know, I'm a circular needle knitter. Obviously, I will have a mixed emotions about that. So my judgment is only my personal experience knitting, but overall I think they look really cool, and they did knit pretty fast. Although, as I said, I would do the heel the way I do it, because now I have to fix it, so I have to play with the socks a bit, get some piece of yarn and stuff. And they're very loose. They're too big for me, definitely. And they're very loose over here. That's how it should look like. So let me know, have you knitted with Wool and the Gang kind of magic socks? What do you think about them? Leave the comment down below. Am I right saying things what I've just said, or would you disagree with me completely? I truly believe this pattern is amazing. It's just the way you have to knit it to achieve this is a challenging, definitely. Or it's a really cool class of working on your tension. I hope you enjoyed this one. See you next one. And don't forget to use hashtag knitting I love. Show me what you're knitting. And I hope to see you next one. Bye!